John Gregory, and I went to Northwestern and I studied imperialism in Africa and broadcasting.
Internet, my name is Craig Vorshak. I am a Princeton dropout, but I was studying East African imperialism before, some things happened.
Hello, my name is Rupert Brimble. I graduated from Harvard Community College in Austin, Texas with honors. I obtained a doctorate in the study of colonial African Southern imperialistic, naturalistic study of empires. Thank you.
I'm Phil Collins, director, producer, and cameraman. They pay me a lot.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I'm John Gregory, and today I'm going to take you on the vast and very interesting adventure of imperialism in East Africa. Today I will be assisted by my colleagues Rupert Brimble and Craig Vorshak. Oh, and let's not forget the legendary, prestigious cameraman, Phil Collins. Today, we're going to start down in the library with our buddy Craig. Take it away!
Thank you, Jonathan. First off, let us define the term of imperialism.
Imperialism happens when two parties form a relationship, in this case between two countries, and the stronger of the two countries imposes its will on the weaker of the two.
A prime example of this would be the great country of Zambia. In 1889, Great Britain came over to Zambia to mainly set up the British South African Company, to mainly export minerals from Zambia back to Great Britain.
At first, this indirect relationship was set up quite nice, with mining rights being exchanged for £2,000 a year. But slowly, Britain started taking control of the country and eventually imposing their own taxes from everything from drinks to huts.
Now let's turn it over to our colleague Rupert.
Thank you, Craig, my good man. Now, let's delve into a finer African country. Madagascar. Blu-ray edition. I see it concerns the country of Madagascar.
Madagascar was originally colonized by the British and retained control of their island during this period due to their resources, such as rice. The British abolished the slave trade in the small island in exchange for British help in economics and political turmoil. They simply needed a British representative on the court of the King of Madagascar. However, later in the island's history, the French took over. Between 1883 and 1889, France arrived and took complete and total control of the island. They appeared on Madagascar's shores with gunboats and a multitude of ammunition. Madagascar promptly surrendered.
Now, back to my prestigious colleague, Craig.
Thank you, my good friend. Now on to another rather interesting country, Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a rather interesting case because they are the only country in East Africa to successfully resist the Europeans. Now, let's delve in on this fine country.
First, them and Italy made a treaty called the Treaty of Usiali that gave Italy some territory in exchange for weapons, money, and Eritrea. However, there was some deceiving text in the Italian version of the treaty, which Ethiopia and their emperor, Menelik, did not like. So, eventually, Menelik led an attack on Italy and was successful enough to where they completely slaughtered the Italian force and got the Italian government to accept Ethiopia as an independent country.
Now, we're going to explore another fascinating country, Somalia.
Somalia was imperialized by Britain and Italy during the 19th century. It was imperialized for the purpose of creating a secure trading route, as well as having an abundance of natural resources. Italy and France, who were also in the country colonizing in some other areas, seemed to have primary control of the country until 1888, when Britain gained an opportunity when the Egyptians withdrew from a separate war, creating a sort of passage for our great country. Following their penetration of Somalia, Britain made alliances with several local tribes, and eventually Britain and France made several truces regarding the boundaries between the two countries imperializing Somalia. Britain ruled indirectly, while France and Italy were more assertive and ruled more directly.
Now, back to Craig with more on Uganda.
Thank you, my good sir. Now let us briefly summarize Ugandan imperialism. Both Germany and Britain were present in the country of Uganda. Germany, of course, ruled directly, with Britain maintaining its indirect rule in colonies. As time went on, the two countries competed for more rule within Uganda, although Britain was the first to leave because the cost of running a colony was becoming way too expensive for them and not worth it as much as it was to Germany. Now that concludes our section on Uganda.
Now, let us talk about the wonderful country of Kenya.
And let us not forget Tanzania.
Originally, Tanzania and Kenya were united as one country, but on August 7th, 1885, German gunboats arrived and forcefully took control of the land. The British heard of this, and then they joined the turmoil. In the end, they split the land with Britain, taking the north, and Germany taking the south. However, after the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was forced to surrender the Bhutto region of Tanzania to the more indirect British rule. To this day, the line that Britain and Germany drew remains the border between Tanzania and Kenya.
Nicely done, Rupert and Craig. Now let's explore the similarities between imperialism in these countries. There are a few main countries that participated in the taking over of countries in East Africa: Britain, France, Germany, Italy, and Portugal. However, Britain was the only country to indirectly rule in East Africa. All of the other countries directly ruled. All of these countries shared some common goals, which included, but were not limited to, obtaining raw materials, increasing trade, and gaining more land, which in turn led to more political power. And in this time, political power was the most important thing to European powers. Besides Italy and Ethiopia, the main colonizing countries were very successful in infiltrating and eventually taking over the smaller, less powerful countries. Resistances from the indigenous people also took place. The controllers and the people being controlled increased. When Europeans took over more land from Africans, local leaders started to organize rebellions against the Europeans. Some of the uprisings were influenced by spiritual reasons. Africans wanted to restore their politics and culture to their lives. Some areas formed political parties in response to colonialism. That's all for me here, and the similarities are quite interesting. Bye now.
Oh, wow, that's cold. Well, that's all for now. Wasn't that fun and interesting? Well, not as fun as this snowball fight. I'll see you later, history friend.